Hi everyone, and welcome to our gathering video for April 25th, 2021. My name is Anne Ellis, and I'm the Children, Youth, and Family Minister at Mount Seymour United Church in North Vancouver, and I want to welcome all of you here today. Today we are going to look at another story about Jesus visiting the disciples after Easter, because it is still the Easter season, which lasts for 50 days until Pentecost. And this year Pentecost is on May 25th. For our activity at the end of the video, you are going to need two things. This week's activity is very simple, unlike last week's, which was our sock bunnies, which were a little complicated. This week, all you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pair of scissors. Don't forget to have your Lord's Prayer booklet with you as well. We're going to practice some more verses or lines of the Lord's Prayer at the end of our video. And we're going to talk a little bit about Earth Day today. Earth Day was on the 22nd, so I've got my Earth rock that I painted, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. So if you need to pause this video and go grab your supplies, do so now, and then we'll get started. Okay, I think we're ready. Our opening prayer this season is a call and response. We've been practicing it for a couple of weeks. It is not a repeat after me, so I will say a line and you have a different line to say in response. And I have cards so that we can learn it together. So I say, God be with you. And you say, and also with you. Lift up your hearts. And you say, we lift them up to God. Let us give thanks to God. It is good to give our thanks and praise. Amen. This week, as we light our candle, I want to remind every one of you watching that you are welcome here. You are welcome here no matter how old or how young you may be, no matter your marital status or financial background, no matter your sexual orientation, your gender identity, or gender expression, you are welcome here. You are welcome here if you consider yourself to be a Christian, or if you are part of another faith tradition or religion, or if you're not a part of any religion at all and are simply curious. And you are welcome here because we all seek the ideals of justice, peace, and compassion. You are welcome here. We also take some time to acknowledge the land on which Mount Seymour United Church rests is on the unceded and ancestral territory of the Tsleil-Waututh people, who are members of the Coast Salish, and that also includes the Squamish and the Musqueam, and they have been stewards of this land from time immemorial. And we take a moment now to acknowledge and honor their stewardship of this land, and hope that through our actions we can create better relationship, right relationship with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. So it's still a season of Easter, because Easter is a strange and mysterious story. We like to spend some time being curious and wondering about it, because it's strange and mysterious that Jesus died and came back again. So today I'm going to tell you another story about another visit from Jesus with his disciples after Easter. Are you ready to hear the story?
While the disciples were talking, Jesus himself stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." They were startled and terrified, and thought they were seeing a ghost. He said to them, "Why are you frightened? And why do doubts arise in your hearts? Look at my hands and my feet, and see that it is myself. Touch me, and see, for a ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see that I have." And when he said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. Yet with their joy they were disbelieving and still wondering. And he said to them, "Have you anything to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it in their presence. Red snapper. Then he said to them, "These are my words that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that everything written about me is the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms must be fulfilled. You are witness to these things, and see, I am sending upon you what my Father promised. So stay here in the city until you have been clothed with the power on high."
So I wonder why Jesus wanted to have them look at his hands and his feet. And I wonder why Jesus wanted some fish. And I wonder how you would feel in a situation like that. Like most of the stories of Jesus visiting the disciples after Easter, this is a strange story. The disciples want to believe what they see in front of them, but it is so out of the ordinary that they're frightened. Jesus asks them why they are afraid and why they have doubts, and I think the obvious answer is because it was scary to see somebody who had died standing there in front of them again. And it's kind of a scary time that we're in right now. It's very much out of the ordinary, like these stories about after Easter are. And we're afraid for our health, for our loved ones, for our communities, and this pandemic feels really big and overwhelming sometimes, at least to me. And I suppose if I had been with the disciples back then and I saw Jesus, I would be feeling that it was a pretty big and overwhelming thing too. It also seems really strange and honestly a little bit weird that Jesus asked for something to eat. But quite often, before Jesus died, Jesus spent a lot of time sharing food with his disciples. It was something they were comfortable with, and it was something that was known. And here they were in a very unknown, scary place. But sharing food they could understand, and sharing a meal with a friend felt safe and grounding. We can't share meals with our friends in the same way that we have been able to in the past right now. But I think what we can learn from this story is that when we do feel overwhelmed, when the situations we're in are so out of the ordinary, they feel big and scary, that maybe we can do something simple that helps us to feel safe. Something that is grounding and help us to focus on the present moment. Maybe that is something to do with food, like baking cookies or helping make dinner or cooking something that you like to cook. Maybe it's getting outside to go for a walk or to plant seeds in the garden, or maybe it's coloring a picture or reading a book or telling somebody a joke or writing someone a letter. Anything that is simple and easy and gentle can help us to feel better when we feel overwhelmed, like the disciples did in that story. Jesus helped them to feel safe by asking for something simple and easy and gentle, to share some food. So I'm going to show you a super duper easy craft that is so much fun to play with, and it might help you feel good after, if you ever feel frightened. So as I said, you need a piece of paper and you need some scissors. Okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your piece of paper and you're gonna cut a strip. Now when I first made this, I drew a straight line with a ruler and I was super careful, and then I found out that you don't really need to do that. You can just cut a strip, and if it's a little wonkily-do, that's fine. I'm gonna try to keep it about the same width. And then just curve it over very gently. Don't fold this, don't make a crease, leave it rounded. And about 2 or 3 centimeters from the end, cut the paper, but don't cut it all the way across. Just make like a little flap like this, okay, on one side. And then at the same spot on the other one, cut about halfway across your strip. So then you'll have 2 little cuts, and you can slide those 2 together and make a fish. And the really cool thing about these fish is when you throw them up in the air or drop them from a bit of a height, be very careful. They twirl. Okay, that one didn't twirl, but I'm going to show you how they twirl. So it was Earth Day on April 22nd, and Earth Day is a day where we try to think about the earth and how we can make it a better place for everybody. And so I invite you, if you didn't do something on Earth Day specifically, to maybe think about doing something for Earth Day today. And maybe that's going for a walk and picking up garbage, playing a Nature I Spy, or planting some wildflower seeds for the butterflies and the bees. Maybe it's watching a documentary about our planet. There's lots of them on Netflix and Amazon Prime and other streaming services. And if you go to earthday.ca or earthday.org, you can find lots more activities and things that you can do to lessen your impact on the environment and help make the world cleaner and better for all of us. And this Earth Day rock that I painted, I am going to hide somewhere in the neighborhood of the church for you to come and find and see if you can search it out. And when you do find it, I invite you to take a photo and post it on North Shore Rock Hunt. It's a Facebook page, and the link to that is in the description below. So we're going to close our time together practicing the Lord's Prayer. And you'll remember we've been practicing it for a couple of weeks, and we've got a little booklet. That link to the template is in the description below. And we are going to practice, add a couple lines today, and then read the whole thing through to the end. And so it goes like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Let's read that whole section again. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And we'll finish it off. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you so much for being with me this week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week for our next video. Okay, bye.